Well, hello again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Cardboard Crawlers RC channel. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Today we're at the Harris Teeter Haul and Crawl, right across from Bojangles in downtown Aberdeen. I think we're behind the AT&T store and like Biscuitville. There's a drainage that they had here last year, and I came, and now they've put in a whole nother like 250 feet of rock, and then they left this pile here that I've taken some rocks from, and I've come back and made a couple of trails on, because it's sick. It's like on a small slope, and then it's a pretty good sized pile of rocks. Meant to take a picture for this video from a few feet away with the trucks on it. I'll get it next time. But we brought old reliable Ruby out to the rock pile today, and the new blue, black and blue number 3, that's what we're calling it, because that's what it is. My 1-to-1 rock crawler was a black 4Runner, and we painted the cage this baby blue color similar to this. And my dad said, "Oh, this is black and blue number 2," and I was like, "Oh, why number 2?" Because to my knowledge, it was the only black and blue vehicle we had ever worked on together. And he said, well, you know, when you were really little, you probably don't remember, but there was a 55 Chevy that Ronnie Hines and him, well, Ronnie Hines built it, but it was old black and blue is the name of that rig. And so my rig got written on the side in like welder's pencil or something, like black and blue number 2 right on the paint. He didn't give it an F. It didn't matter. It was a trailer rig. She didn't have to be pretty. But so that was black and blue number 2. We're gonna call this black and blue number 3. My other blue rig is black, blue, and white, so I never thought that name was appropriate. But man, doesn't that look good right there? That's a nice photo. If the dang Harris Teeter in the golf cart store wasn't behind it. But hey, good times. Ruby, you know, doing her thing, creeping along, having a good time here. We take a couple of different trails here. We start right here. We came up the back, and then we're just creeping in, creeping down. There's a nice down slope right here. I am on the very, very edge. If you came off the rock my tire was on, it would be like 1 foot drop to nothing to the ground. That's where my camera's sitting. So this is like the pile. It's pretty cool, man. It's right at a parking lot. Like if anybody was in the area and they came to crawl, like I'd take them to this spot. We'd go here. We'd do my rock pile, do a couple others in the area. And dude, you'd have a day of it. It'd be sick. Yeah, the TRD Toyota Race Development wagon right there. Looking good. Love that truck, man. I love it. I don't care. I'm a total nerd for these trucks. Too much fun. And awesome capabilities in this one. You know, the shocks are much bigger than what are recommended for this style of chassis, but it's just something I'm trying. You know, I've got a few of these chassis, and some of them were set up different. Like this one in this JLU, never intended for a JLU really, but it's got a full MAZ chassis under it and NSDRC servo in it, MAZ links up front, some Enduro links underneath it. Really had a black with red ball ends. Had to have it. That was back in the day before MAZ was making links. And that one's gonna stay that way. It's keeping it. And yeah, anyway, super good times. It's fun to be at a different spot and you know, see what the trucks can do. Not only that, I'm getting that blue truck fully dialed in. I did a little bit more. Well, I changed the way the Magnum mounts mounted. I put a little bit of Velcro inside the body so the battery sits down in there a little bit better. Even though it's not right at the moment. I don't know what I did when I put it in. I just didn't put it in properly. And then I think I took a break. Yeah, here we go. See, I took a break to do some rock moving and whatnot because these trails aren't fully developed yet. And yeah, pretty cool spot right there. Oh, and then in the front of the, right behind the grill, the lower, like the double Fairlead style front end on that. These are super low tolerances on this particular build, and your drag link and steering link, especially the drag link, the bolt hits back in there. You can see where I chipped it off. I did that with some clippers at the Gauntlet, and then I just, when I got home, I finally decided, because I had made enough space so the bolt went up in there. But if you were fully turned to the right and you wanted your steering to come, like, release and come down, like you wanted your axle to come down, it wouldn't, because it was catching on a lip up in there. So today I got brave before I went out to the pile and took the Dremel to it, the Welland Dremel from Hobby Lobby, and hooked it up, and man, so much smoother. Because what I wanted to do was limit strap the front shocks, and I hadn't done that, because once you pulled that where the servo horn and the drag link connect, once you pulled that up in there, it was going to be like right at that lip and kind of touching and bouncing off, and it was just going to be a bad day. So I ground that down, made it nice and smooth, and I limited the front shocks with a smaller rubber band than the rear shocks to really suck that front end down. But it's so heavy, the ends are heavy, the wheels are heavy, so it lets the shocks really release. And as I say that, I'm fully getting sideways here and flipped over. But this truck's been pretty good at recovery. As long as the body doesn't come off, it's good. And it snaps back into place with
RC crawlers.
And I mean, you know, it's not that easy. Dude walking by asking what's up, and yeah, it's not the easiest thing. Flipping those over sometimes, and you know, occasionally on like a video like this where it's not gates or anything, I might edit that out and actually not show you that flip over, even though I self-recovered. But you know, like, I really like these to be as realistic as they are. Like, I'm driving, I'm just not using a gimbal or a GoPro hooked to my controller, you know. Like, I'm running two controllers, a different controller for each truck, so that would be kind of not work, I guess. I've thought about drilling them together, like screwing the base plates together and running them like you would like a double mag, like you had two mags taped together. Then my controller's upside down with a camera in between. Anyway, it's not that serious. Like, a little tripod works. I think you guys like this style of footage. Remember, if you do, hit that like button, hit that bell notification, subscribe to the channel. Hey, I got 10 subscribers off of that short with the green FJ in it 2 days ago. 2,500 views. Thanks a lot, guys, for viewing, watching, continuing to support this channel. Remember, I'm just a small little channel out here with, you know, just a wing and a prayer. So put me out in that algorithm all that you can. Sharing the shorts, I think it really pumps them to the world. Like, it really makes the algorithm grab onto them and put them in there. And then watching these long plays. If you're not going to watch the whole thing, let it play in the background. It gives me watch hours and eventually pushes me towards some sort of, you know, actually becoming a YouTube creator. I don't know. Someone told me that I am a YouTube creator the other day, but I don't sometimes feel like it. So I just like having these trucks and having a good time with them, finding some rocks to play in. This is a good spot, even though there's people all around and everything. It's kind of shady. It's a beautiful day in North Carolina. You know, what are you going to do with your time but, you know, spend it the way you want? And I'm leaving this in here. I wish I had the camera angle just over that breakover a little bit, that precipice there that you can't see behind the rock. It's a boulder field. I mean, you saw it I think with the blue truck coming up here, and it's just really not fun nor pretty. So, right here at this break, I'm just like, okay, I'm not making this. The tiny tire guy, back out of it. Stop. I took a handful of gravel and threw it down in there, just in front of the truck, and bang, bang. Once I got past that little spot, I knew I was going to make it. And then I thought, okay, are you going to go the blue truck line up straight at us? And I thought, no. I had made a little bypass down here to the just below it, so I get lined up to get in there, and I'm like, yep, we're going to go into the bypass. And it looks like you got to go up, but you just got to hook it, and then boom, boom, you're in it. Get in there, and come around. And so you just are just like, I literally just swiveled the camera, so you're down on this little shelf that you would have had to come right up at us, and then you make a left turn on some easier terrain once you get turned, and you come right around where the blue truck was sitting, right where the camera had been. So, or the camera was just on the passenger side of the blue truck in the last shot. And then I had gone straight down and over to the grass, and I looked at like the like the end footage. I was like, oh no, let's build another line right here. So I moved a couple rocks, built another line, and decided I'd come back to that break point where the blue truck was sitting and go, okay, well then we'll just turn the Jeep down in like this and turn the blue truck down in. We built a gnarly little like a crux line, like a mini big sluice on the Rubicon. It's kind of like a little downhill gully full of rocks. Big rocks with little rocks all in between, heavy wedge spots, and it looks good on film. So happy for that, and it keeps on going down here. The blue truck's just up to the right, out of the view of the camera. I should have done a better job of getting it, but I'm just trying to get the close-ups, which are always fun. I'm gonna get some wiring tidied up in that Jeep, make it prettier. And boom, boom. Then we coming down. It's all the way through the bottom of the sluice. And coming right out. And the sluice is just like a naturally formed big rock wall area that has a bunch of rocks in between. Like the way you would build a small gold sluice, with slats. The rocks are just the slats inside of a naturally formed, like a granite. There's a big granite wall on one side, and then a bunch of rocks in the middle with a high point on the other to keep everything in there. So it's a lot of, creeks are naturally formed in areas like that on the Rubicon. There's a few spots that are like that: little sluice, big sluice, and old sluice. You could say that Cadillac Hill is a sluice as well, but it's Cadillac Hill. It's not called a sluice. So that's kind of what you're dealing with right there. The way it's tall rocks on both sides with the middle. I've said it 16 times. Thanks for listening. But I just get excited. So, and man, this truck's just really running good now. I wish I would have had that extra week or two. Has it been 2 weeks since the Gauntlet? Yeah, I think so. But really a week's worth of work on that truck would have got me, a little bit of testing and some work on this truck. I literally was throwing it together, and it was like finished the day before the Gauntlet, but not finished, and I just didn't know what was wrong with it. And then when I got there, it wasn't working. It didn't work. Everything slipped, and cardboard crawlers out.